Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you greatly. Today we're looking at the rest of the month, so predictive energies for the next 2 weeks until the blue moon, until August 30th, but really until the back to school energy starts picking back up and that everybody starts changing gears, right? So holidays are almost coming to a close. I hope you had an amazing summer, by the way. So let's just dive in. I am going to start with a planet, actually. Even if you have the current transits going on, I do like to bring in a particular planet and see how it ties in with the tarot for this particular predictive look ahead. So let's really start here. Aries, you're first, of course. So let's start with you. You get the super moon. So it's interesting that we have a super moon at the end of the month on August 30th, which is actually a blue moon, but also a super moon, which means it's actually really close to the earth and has a lot of magnetic pull. So usually the influence is felt quite strongly. So either way, it is a full moon in this case, in terms of what we're experiencing truly at the end of the month. So anything that could possibly come to light will, whether you like it or not sometimes. So let me pull for you. We're starting with the Eight of Cups. I'm going to draw a few cards. Okay, you could be dealing with a Scorpio. You could also be dealing with an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Someone is having a hard time walking away from you. So, and you could be the one walking away from someone else. But it's a weird energy where one person wants to walk away, but the other person wants to stick around. So you guys are clearly not on the same page when it comes to this relationship, if relationship there is. This is someone you're dealing with, so it could go either way. I don't know if you're the one walking away or if you're the one that wants to stick around here. But things are very slow between the two of you because of basically the push and pull here. You guys are not aligned in terms of the direction that you want to move together. If ever there's any true intentions of actually working together, if you want, working at this relationship. It's contradictory energy, basically. So someone is very adamant, though, about making this work in the sense that they're going to be patient when it comes to you. Obviously, it's the person that wishes to stick around that has this mindset, for sure. The other possibility, if this is someone that could have walked away or will walk away, right? But will want to come back. So this could be one person energy, it could be the other person's energy. Again, it could be reversed to you, but it's almost like someone changing their mind. So wanting to leave and then suddenly saying, uh-oh, this might not be a good idea. So the outcome is messages. You guys will talk. I think you'll talk about what is that misalignment or not being. It's almost like a timing thing. It's like when someone wants to come around, the other person is actually not receptive, etc. But it's an interesting ebb and flow feeling as well, especially if it's if in your case you're the one that is changing your mind about, okay, I wanted to leave, but now I think I should stay. You're gonna feel like the tide, right? You're gonna feel like you're coming and going. But ultimately, you might choose to. I think you're choosing to stick around. Ultimately, I think you're gonna want to talk about that and express that to the other person. You're going to be very emotional, by the way. I sense the moon to be extremely strong, and you'll have a lot to say that comes from really, really deep within. So let's look at Taurus now. Taurus, let me start with a planet for you. You get Mars. So you could be really busy and action-oriented all the way through the end of the month. You could already be in the back-to-school energy that I was describing in the intro. Maybe you've already had your vacation and suddenly now things are picking up 2 weeks ahead of time, right? Even before September hits. You have a lot of drive, you have a lot of energy. So far, that's what I'm picking up on Mars. So let me pull a few cards for you. Oh yeah, you'll be very busy. I feel that you're mainly focused on your work. It's a little unsettling, I have to tell you. I think you're putting in, your work-life balance isn't healthy. And with the temperance in the reverse, you are not paying attention to your love life, family life, maybe even just personal life, just your self-care. I think will come more than just secondary. I think you're thinking so far ahead and you're really focused on your future and any future developments. You have a lot of, you've been planning, and I think that you're actually putting in the discipline to achieve your goals. It's very strong here. Let me see how you cope with your work-life balance, really, besides being unbalanced. Well, your family is the one area where definitely your children maybe will be the two things. Either the ones that you neglect the most, or maybe the only thing that you actually really care of and care for while you're busy at work. The rest will take the will then be left on the wayside kind of thing. So obviously neglecting your children, you know what I mean. I don't think you'd be a bad parent here. I'm just saying that maybe they're the ones that would kind of feel it the most. The fact that you'd be less available, spending a lot of time preparing. I'm also hearing that you're strategizing. I think that you're putting in either marketing strategies, or there's definitely a business plan, that there's a structure to what you're doing. I also sense time is of the essence. Not that there's a beat the clock, but there's definitely, it's important in the sense that I think it participates in the goals that you have. You might have particular deadlines that either you've set for yourself or that have been imposed. And I think this is why you need Mars's energy to really push through, because there seems to be a short window of opportunity, quote unquote, that you actually want to really take advantage of here. So now let's move to Gemini. Gemini, you're next. We're starting with a planet for you. Look at the main energy. Looking ahead the next 2 weeks, this is predictive. Let's pull for you. You get Mars. I just got Mars for Taurus. You might have Taurus placements that might interest you to listen to their short message. Let me pull for you. So the main energy here is being very busy, feeling energetic, putting in a lot of efforts into anything that you do. You're a force to be reckoned with. You could also be extremely volatile, quote unquote, in the sense that you would be here, there, and everywhere. You're in motion, in movement, let me say that. So let me pull a few cards for you. Yeah. Part of that motion here, there, everywhere is actually felt here on the Seven of Cups. You're dabbling into many, many things. I didn't even realize that that would be the case for real. You're a little bit scattered, but I think that you're just way too curious, as usual, Gemini. You've got your nose in a few things, your hands busy with more than one thing that you're trying to handle, or at least touch on. So I don't know if it comes from, I feel that you've been opening up to choices. There's something that you are wanting to experiment. So you've been opening yourself up, and it feels like it's a project. It feels more career oriented, something that would also represent you and your identity, your values, your core values. You want to do something that resembles you and that people can actually say, wow, this is actually so well suited for you, and I totally see you doing this, and I absolutely think you'll be good at it. I think that you're interested in making money through this same token, meaning at the same time, you're not just interested in doing something without any form of reward, if you want, or return on your investment for your time and effort. But you will be a little bit ineffective if you spend too much energy looking at what you should do. So it's great. You need to actually find out what you really need to focus on, but don't stay in that energy where you're only looking at, you know, what's left, what's right, what's up, what's down. You need to eventually choose. Let's see what you might choose. Besides, I think, a project that is relating to your financial security. You get the Strength card in the reverse. You get, I want to show you because I haven't showed you. You have two cards of opening up, of absolutely wanting to share yourself. It feels brand new. It feels like it's something that you're really deciding to reveal to the world, almost like a hidden side to you. Maybe you had something that you love to do that you didn't really share with the world. But it feels that you're ready to like open up that particular side of your personality, or show a particular talent, an ability, an interest, a skill, of course. I just got another Leo card. So you're very shy when it comes to being full on. There's some kind of restraint here overall, even if you're finally choosing to show a side of yourself that you hadn't. I think that you, with Mars here, you're gonna have enough of the courage to do that. And it has to do with just how center stage you can actually, how much you actually love being in the limelight and being center stage. So I'm sure it's not an easy thing if you have not been in that position before. Hence why you're hesitating and you're looking for the right way to shine, right? It's almost like you're not wanting to miss this opportunity. Like you don't want to put yourself out there unless it's like really good, really well done, really representative of who you are truly. You don't want to mess it up, or you don't want to give it a more than one go. You want to be sure, but right now you're still looking for that one thing. I sense that the exploration will bear fruit. Again, my only advice is maybe not to stay in that energy of only trying out things. I believe you have the potential to actually bring this all the way. So go for it. Let's move on to Cancer. Cancer, you're up. We're getting a planet for you to start. You're getting the super moon. Aries got the super moon. You might have Aries placements, and you might want to listen to the short message I did earlier. I'm sorry. This is the black moon, lune noire. My bad. Lilith. Lilith is a point in the sky, right? It's not a body. It's not a planetary body per se. She represents like the dark side of the moon. So a hidden side, a more wild side, a very, very magnetic, charismatic, deep side of your personality. It also shows either strong attraction or strong repulsions. It's a very particular energy. It's also very deep psychology oriented. So really wanting to dig deep and for the motivations of what you do and how you do things. Let me pull a few tarot cards for you. You have travels on your mind. There's a trip that you're actually planning, that you're wanting to take. You get all three cards are upright. You get two travel cards. Six of Swords, the World card. You're planning a trip. This is something that you've wanted to do for a long time. It feels like the crowning of a particular cycle. It feels like you are sort of closing the loop on something. But it's okay. Yes, it's usually like an ending and maybe a new beginning, of course. But the way this trip feels, it feels like an achievement. It feels like a summum, reaching a summum or a summit if you want. So there's something about either you're going somewhere to get rewarded, to get sort of recognized or celebrated even. You've been expecting this. This is something that you have been wanting for a very long time. This is I'm sensing this strongly. Let me pull on the World. I want to see what this is really. I feel like you're traveling to go see someone. It feels like you want to partner with, maybe in business, it's possible. But there's a particular opportunity that you're wanting to seize. And I think this is why it's a summum. it's like you know that you have to get there and kind of like save the day, or like arrive at the right moment so that you can sweep the person off their feet, or, you know, be there for a particular event, or yet with the black moon there, it feels there's a little bit of apprehension, even if you're excited about the opportunity. It feels you're not sure how you're going to be received, and you're traveling quite a distance, so maybe you're worried about, okay, well, I'm doing all of this, but how's it really going to turn out? There's a little bit of a, you know, your motivations are very, they come from you being extremely, almost, I want to say attracted, but like it's a compulsion for you to actually come travel to see this person. It feels like compulsive, like a need. So it could be definitely a huge pull that you're sensing, and yet you still don't know. You'll never know until you go. I sense that it's gonna go well. You will be met initially with maybe a little bit of coldness. You will have to warm up the people around you. You'll have to warm up the atmosphere by what you decide to say and what you decide to do, and how you decide to present what you're here or there to offer. Differently said, you're going to need to be convincing. And it could be a business deal, but it could also be in relationship with a particular air sign. So Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Let's move on to Leo. Leo, this is now your turn. Let us get a planet for you to start. You get the super moon. I drew this for Aries. You might have Aries placements. You might be interested in watching what I've said for them just earlier. The super moon, the full moon at the end of the month is a blue moon, and it's also a super moon on August 30th. Typically, a super moon is has a lot more gravitational, has a lot more pull than other full moons. So it's usually felt quite strongly. So it could mean that you have something that is nagging at you, pulling at you, requesting your attention, requesting all of your attention. That's intuitive, but now let's look at the tarot. Yes, you do have a big dream in mind. There's you're focused on your happiness. You're focused on what makes you feel on top of the world, in love, and in your connections. This is what is of the utmost importance, and this is what will also show up for you throughout the rest of the month. You'll have very peaceful, serene connections. There's also a sense of staying put, really wanting to take the time to sit with these connections, invest yourself, give of your time. You're making yourself available more than ever. This is what I'm sensing. I would like to clarify, I have the Six of Swords in the reverse. So I'd like to clarify this card for you. Yes, you're really spending a lot of time doing some research, or it's not full-on research like you go on the internet or delve into books or that kind of stuff, going to the library. It's much more geared towards your connections and finding out what is it that people love, how is it that you can actually meet their needs, anticipate their needs, improve the connections, nourish the connections. So you're observing that closely and you're spending the time necessary. This is what I'm sensing the most. Your engagement, the way you're committed to this. You're also a lot more giving. I find that you're more present than usual. I think it has to do with just how much you're correlating, realizing that when you invest so much of yourself, of your own emotions, you get the same in return. And I think it's extremely satisfying for you. And it's growing. It's taking more and more space in your life, in your world. You're making this a priority, definitely. So let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, we're starting with a planet for you. See what main energy is here as an overall or overarching energy. You get the sun. You feel good. You feel yourself. I think you also are wanting a little bit of attention. You could be getting a lot of attention. Actually, you are getting a lot of attention, but you're sort of shying away from it. In true Virgo style, you're being overly modest. You're being overly modest. You don't want to shine too bright. For some reason, you don't want to overshadow anybody else beside you. You want to make sure that everybody's on the same equal footing. You'll be I was gonna say you're gonna spend some time thinking about that, actually, because I feel that you have this desire to take more space, right? To be seen. And you're gonna think about that, because you're gonna also feel that, you're shying away, that you're kind of like refusing and not allowing yourself to be seen in this way or that much, right? To be, taking up space in a room, being a little bit loud or louder than usual, etc., etc. And I think you're gonna wonder, why is it that I'm doing that? Where does it come from? Why am I think you're gonna do that, sort of reflecting back. Make sure your pessimism, or self-criticism, I should say, doesn't kick in too strongly. When you do that exercise, it should be a positive one. One that gets you actually out there. You get the High Priestess. even if I'm kind of nudging you to like express yourself fully, you'll be quite quiet. Again, it stems from not wanting to come across as arrogant, and you're not going to want to, you know, you're actually refusing to take center stage. I'm not sure what your motivations are, and I think that's what I'm describing, that you actually are needing to understand what those are. What is it that blocks you or that keeps you from expressing yourself fully here? It feels like you're secretive. You might have some Scorpio placements or 8th house placements for some reason, or even 12th house placements. You seem to have prefer keeping to yourself when it comes to things that are very personal. And those are probably the things that you don't like to expose. But you're kind of being nudged to do so. Or you're being challenged. All right, let's move on to Scorpio. Sorry, Libra. Libra, how could I forget you? So we're starting with the planet with you, for you, Libra. This card, Mercury. Okay, you're gonna be chatty this the rest of the month. Talkative, curious, open, witty. Let me pull some tarot and understand in which direction this goes, really. First card out, messages. You're definitely talkative. You've got something to say. What are you saying? Why is that there? It's a funny mix here. I think that you're super eager to jump into things, whatever that thing is for you. There's a particular thing that interests you more than all the rest. It could be a person, but I don't have court cards here and I don't have any love cards. So I'm thinking to leave it more general. It is something where you feel like you'd be coming out of a long detour, like you would have taken a long detour about this. So either procrastinating or just like taking the long way to actually get to where you need to go. Maybe it was purposeful, maybe it was unintentional, I'm not too sure. But you had some fear, relative fear regarding going ahead too quickly. So you made sure that you circled around it, maybe more than once here, multiple times. And so for a little while, you were guarded, and for a little while, you kept this idea like almost in your awareness, but sort of on the back burner as well, right? Like not fully being the priority or the thing that you actually invested all of your time. Mind you, we're looking at predictive, but I just want you to know that because it's something you've circled around about, it is something that you've been holding on to for a long time, about doing, about starting, about improving, whatever that thing is, right? So put the right verb to the action you need to take on this. But you would have also perceived it as, actually no, let me rephrase that. You will sense the timing is right when you suddenly feel that it's not a struggle anymore to actually tackle it. So for some reason you might have felt like all of those detours and that circling around was maybe because you were waiting for the right time. That could be. I sense that the time has come. There's many reasons. One, you're absolutely going to be self-expressed about it and moving, like feeling extremely enthusiastic about jumping into this at this point. And it's also going to feel very easy, like an easy thing to do, especially with Mercury. It's going to be smooth sailing for you to just like finally like, okay, I'm ready. I can actually say something. I can actually work on this. I can actually invest myself in it. So again, I don't know what it is. It's okay that it's general. So let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, let's start with a planet for you. And what is that? You get Neptune. So maybe you're dreamy. Maybe you've been a little bit like fuzzy. Meaning you don't mind that things are not too, if they're not too clear. You might not mind not being fully in the know. You're going to rely much more on how things feel, you know, and what you're sensing about them instead of having a full-on like picture of it. It almost feels like you'll privilege sensing it out, feeling it out. Let's see what that is. You get incredible energies here. You get Temperance in the reverse, the Hermit and the Moon. Really, really big energy, just as big as Neptune is. It's not the biggest planet of the solar system, obviously not, but it's quite big. But it's pretty much what I was describing. The moon being here, you're not fully in the know about what's happening, but you'll be sensing things greatly. Your intuition is super rocket high. It's regarding it feels like an opportunity that is lurking, and that's the right word for it. It's something that either you're proposing to the world or that you are expectant of receiving. So you know that it's going to stay hidden, and you know that everything will be done in private. It is a little bit disturbing to you. It's kind of having you dance on, you know, like, I'm trying to translate a French expression and it's not working out. So let me try to find a different way to say this. You'll be a little bit on the fence about it because you know that it's sort of hidden from sight, and it's almost like you'll be asked to make a decision without having all the facts, and you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to trust, and it's going to be difficult. But the good thing is that you've been preparing for this somehow. You've done the work on yourself. You've done the soul searching. You've been on the lookout as well for an opportunity of this kind, and it's just a little strange the way it comes to you. And I think it's the right word. The word strange is applicable here. You're going to find the energies to be out of the ordinary. That's going to be making you feel, it'll make you feel very undecisive. You're going to be wondering what's the right choice? As always, Libra. But I sense you'll be making the right choice. You do have the Page of Pentacles here. You want this. You actually absolutely want this. You're receptive, although a little bit on the fence. I think it's how it's being done. That's probably what's unsettling, because I think that what it is, and that belongs to you, but whatever that thing is for you, that opportunity, that particular new beginning, this sort of window, which could be a window to your creativity, it could be a window to a dream, that a long held dream. And it could also be a window to explore more of your intuitive abilities and psychic abilities, by the way, which means that you'd have to delve deep into that realm. And so I'm telling you, with the Hermit here, you are ready. You've done the work. So if that's the case, for instance, if that is this, if what I'm saying is because it's specific, if it applies to you, then yes, you're okay. You'll be fine doing this. You've got the foundation needed. Let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio, let's grab a card for you, a planet, and see what the overall energy is. You get the super moon. You're the third sign. Aries and Leo got the super moon. So I was telling them that the full moon on August 30th is a super moon, along with being a blue moon. It is quite important, quite strong, can be felt even as of now until then, and even 2 weeks later. It's a strong one. So let's see what it's going to be about. I'm going to pull the tarot for you. It's all about love. Unfortunately, there's drama in love. There's a lot of indecision. There's a lot of hesitation, either on your part or on the part of this other person. Either way, you both feel like you're juggling one another. So the perception on each side is, you're playing with me, you're playing with my heart, you're pulling my strings. And that's creating a lot of drama. It's also stopping any real gesture of love, any true intentions, and also the actions that would need to follow up, right, to honor those intentions. So let me pull one more card. This competition, I'm not willing to say that there's necessarily other suitors, but there's people involved. So maybe the competition is not the right way to say this. It's just a lot of eyes, a lot of ears, a lot of mouths are involved already. You could feel defeated. It seems to be difficult on you because I'm sensing you to maybe want this. Ultimately, it could have been something that you would have obviously preferred would go differently. But you're going to experience some form of disappointment. But it's more of like, almost like, okay, I can't do this anymore. A little bit of a defeat energy, a little bit of I give up, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to put in like, it's too strenuous for what it is. That's the energy, really. And I think ultimately, I think you will let it go. I have to be honest here. I think it's too much. It's going to feel like wasted energy in the end. Sorry about that, Scorp. Let's do Sagittarius. Sagittarius, now let's pull a planet for you. Let's look at the overall energy. You get Mars. Okay, well, this is a, you know, we do have an arrow on this card, so, and then obviously on the glyph, as you know, I'm sure you know. So it feels like you're having your aim set on something, someone. You feel adamant, deliberate, focused, intentional. Yes, your card came out. You know exactly where you're going. You know why you're doing things, or this thing in particular. You're very much aligned in every way. You could be dealing with this, a water sign, a fire sign, another Sag, just like you. I think it could be most likely another fire sign. Someone is emotional, you're not. You're passionate and fiery. You're outgoing with Mars there. You might even have Mars in Sagittarius for all that matter. But you know where you're going with either your idea or your desire. Either way, it's something that you really want. It's something that you're going to totally invest yourself in and put every ounce of you into. But you're dealing with someone emotional in front of you. And that would be the water sign. So they don't have to be, but it's most likely. But they're not, they're emotional, but overly emotional. They're hard to handle. And they don't know where they're going, contrarily to you. So that's quite annoying. It feels like a disconnect. It feels like not being on the same page. It feels like when one moves forward, the other one seems to be going backwards. It's a little bit of that energy, right? And I don't sense you to be able and willing to wait. I don't think you're going to want to adjust your own speed and your own actions in order to meet this person halfway. I'm sensing you to want to just do your thing. Because you're very decisive, extremely decisive. And I don't think you have time for trying to balance out someone else. I don't also think you want anyone codependent around you. You see, the water sign, Pisces mainly, is in a funk. You don't have time to be there to be the center of their galaxy and being the one with all the gravitational, I can't even say that word. Like, you're the one with the gravitas, right? You're the one with the pull. You're the one with, you know, that's going to organize things and that's going to get things going here. And so this person kind of orbits you, if you want, and they feel like more of a weight slowing you down instead of like someone that participates in the movement and creates even more momentum. You see what I mean? So it's a slowdown more than anything. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So I think you'll drop them, quote unquote, but not in a nasty way where you're like, I'm washing my hands. Not like that. I think you're gonna do it diplomatically. I think you're gonna do it sensitively or sensibly with a lot of care. You have temperance. You're gonna be soft. You're gonna be very understanding as well, but you just don't have the time. You will not do it for them. You will not pick them up because you are going to where you're going. That's for sure. Okay, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorn, you're up. We're looking at a planet, the overarching energy for this reading for you. You get Saturn, which is your planet, your ruling planet, which is great. Makes me feel like you'll be extra organized, very on top of your stuff. Conscious of your schedule. You'll also be able to gauge well the time it takes to be doing the things that you need to do. And so you'll be extremely productive, efficient, methodical. Let me pull a tarot now for you. It's interesting because there's an energy in you. I get the Fool here as a first card out. There's an energy in you that is just wanting to like jump into things, right? And wanting to go fast. But you're not going to be, you're holding back because of everything I was saying about Saturn initially, that you're going to want to plan this out. You're going to want to also reserve your energy, and you're very conscious of how to apply your energy so that you, like a marathon, right? Learning how to manage that for the long haul. And I think that you're going to refrain from being too spontaneous and too, putting too much energy too quickly, too fast. And then maybe depleting yourself and not being able to finish the race. There's something about money, about your financials. You want to be careful about that this month, or at least the next 2 weeks. There seems to be a situation where either people are requesting your attention or your money, or maybe you've been asked to invest. You're going to say no. You're not going to go into that direction. You're not going to put in your time or your money into that endeavor. And I think it comes from a different sort of, it's almost like you're preparing for the worst, but I mean, you're not doing it like in, because you're scurrying for like, okay, there's something that bad that has happened and I need to fix this. Not in this energy. Much more of a cautious, reasoned, and wise choice, right? Thinking ahead, looking really far ahead, like not even 5 years, maybe even 10 years, but like that kind of looking ahead. So the kind of projects that attract you and into which you would want to really spend your money and your time are not the quick ones. So you're saying no, and by the end of the month you have somebody or someone or a business or whoever approaches you, but they're asking for your input, not just your advice. They're asking for you to partake, and you're going to say no. That's what I'm sensing. So let's move on to Aquarius. Aquarius, it's your turn. I'm pulling a planet for you as an overarching energy. You get an eclipse. So something is disappearing from your life, or at least is hidden from view, or will actually, because we're looking ahead for the next 2 weeks. It could already be the case though that you're not really fully privy to particular details, or you might be completely oblivious to a particular thing or a situation or person. But let's see what that is. I'm sensing you to, you're not going to see this coming, but you're being saluted and even maybe rewarded, but definitely recognized, but in secret. So it's like having people notice what you do, but they don't tell you, they will never let you know, quote unquote. It feels like it's because it's like your competition, right? So it's like they really almost envy you. They envy your drive, they envy your energy, they also envy the way that you are able to spark things, the way you are able to initiate new creative ideas. That's what you're being recognized for. That could change though, not being recognized, but eventually finding out about it. But yeah, they don't want you to know what you do that is so well, that you do so well, that is so good, that is actually working out, that they wish they could be doing themselves, right? Because I have the 5 and the 6 of Wands here. So there's huge competition around something that you're skilled at. It has to do with your creativity, and like I said, the way you're able to just innovate. You're also someone that you get things moving. I don't know how you do it, because there's an energy of almost feeling blah. It's almost like for you, you do it so effortlessly that you don't realize what it really means, or the impact, or the beneficial, like the benefits that it brings, excuse me. You're completely unaware. It's a really strange one. And it feels like it's because you're a little bit blasé, you're a little bit like, maybe you're used to doing the same thing over and over, and you don't have the same love of it. I think it could be. So what others are perceiving you to be good at, you're actually kind of like getting tired of, or, you know, it's almost like it's running its last mile with you, but yet it's successful. It's really interesting, this reading. But as much as you are lacking maybe, I don't know, passion for it, or that you're lacking the same kind of, I don't know, excitement or like enthusiasm for, You are satisfied though yourself. You do get results. And those are hard to let go of. And I don't think you let go at all. I just think you keep plowing. I think you keep doing it. But you just don't know that the competition is quite envious. So let's move on to Pisces. Pisces, last but not least, as always, I'm pulling in a planet for you, an overarching energy. You get Pluto. So you're gonna probably have or feel a great transformation. You might feel that you need to rejuvenate yourself. You're gonna want to do that. You're actually changing directions here. You're at a crossroads, and instead of like undoing something or breaking it down and rebuilding it, the energy I sense is that you're leaving it intact, but you would like to start something else. So I don't know if you have some kind of tie to it where you think that maybe one day you'll come back to it, but you're kind of saving that for later. And I don't think that you're focused on that really, but I don't sense it you to be destroying it, whatever that thing is. What I am sensing though is that you're not invested. You don't have the same kind of it doesn't have the same appeal to you, that's for sure. You kind of lost faith in what that was for you, the way it appeared at the onset, the promises that it kind of brought you or presented or that you felt were possible. I'm going to show you, but I have both the High Priest and the High Priestess in the reverse here. So this is something that is highly spiritual, or that you had a lot of faith in. A lot of faith in the depth of it, in your capacity to be able to bring out the gems, right? As if you were digging for treasures and knowledge and really wanting to explore this thing. So I'm sure you did for a while, because you've actually built a structure, you've actually created something, but you're at a crossroads. I just feel like this is why I'm saying you're leaving it intact, because you still hold it in your hand, but your gaze is going elsewhere. So I don't know if it's a little bit like saying you're holding Pluto here. But let me explain it differently. What's important is that you're not destroying it. So what's now the focus is the future. But I'm not sure that you know what the future holds. But there are definitely things that you want to bring in from that experience into the future. And one of them is the highest spiritual dimension of whatever, however you invest yourself in. Like, it has to have spiritual meaning. It has to speak to your higher self. It has to match your values in this respect. So I feel that you're still looking for that. So you might be contemplating it, but it feels still very remote. I don't think you quite well know what it is. Or you're sensing that though. Even if the High Priestess is in the reverse here, you're still highly, highly intuitive. So you're on the lookout, you have your antennas out, you're feeling it. It's just not around you. That's why she's in the reverse. She's not able to grasp what that is just yet. It could be a relationship because we have a couple. It's very possible. The other thing is, it's possible that you're wondering if you're able to renew vows with someone, but that's like for like 1% of you. But I'm gonna tell you that I don't think that you're very optimistic about it though. It's let me pull one card on the, sorry, I didn't finish my sentence there. I would say that you're full on like thinking that it's not possible. You have like a small ounce of you that thinks, okay, maybe it's a possibility that I could rekindle this relationship, if it's a relationship for you, of course. But I think that you're considering whether you want to or not, and that's where the difference lies. Anywho, let me pull a card on the Two of Wands. The Page of Pentacles in the reverse. You see, that's the pessimism, or at least the, I'm not so sure I want to actually rekindle this and come forward again. It's also like a card of being cordial instead of being romantic, you know, so friendly instead of being romantic. So that could be one of the hurdles that you had with this person, i.e., you weren't able to stay friends. Yet maybe that's what needs to stay intact, is the friendship. But that's if it's a relationship. I'm sensing this to be maybe something that you want to invest yourself in, that has high values, high spiritual meaning for you. And I think that you're at a crossroads of about, are you going to start this thing? Are you actually going to move forward with it? Or are you actually going to go in that direction? Is that a real path for you? I think you're still feeling it out, because I really think you're looking for a new, not just a new direction. I think a path is really much more, a vocation. But you're not ready. You're not quite ready. These two cards together is showing me that more has to be seen and revealed to you, or I just heard declared. Whatever that means for you. So I'm actually going to stop the reading here, Pisces. I know yours was very symbolic, so I'm not giving you any examples. It's more general and vague, but hopefully you've been able to recognize your situation, or you will. Because there's part of it that you already know about this thing that you're leaving intact, but you obviously don't know the future. But I don't think that by the end of the month you'll know necessarily already. That's what I'm saying to you. I think you'll still be looking at what this could be for you, and you'll still be standing at that crossroads for a little while longer. So guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I appreciate that. You have no idea. It was a pleasure reading for you. If you've liked the video, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. Do share, it helps a lot to get the videos circulating. And obviously subscribe so you can be here with me again. I'll see you soon.